The June 7th Columbus City Council meeting will now come to order. In compliance with the Open Meeting Act, Nebraska Revised Statute 84-1407, current copy of this act is hanging on the back wall. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Bulkley.
Here.
Augustine Schulte.
Here.
Barr.
Here.
Hemer.
Here.
Jablonski.
Here.
Creashaw.
Here.
Lohr.
Here.
Roth.
Here.
Schilling.
Here.
Mayor Bulkley, the roll has been called.
Thank you. Mrs. Council President.
Our Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve our fellow citizens. Please give us your wisdom and guidance to make the proper decisions entrusted to this governmental body. May our conduct show respect, honor, and courtesy to each other, as well as to all our citizens. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. If at any time during our meeting this evening, anyone in the audience would like to come forward and address an item on our agenda, we'd invite you to the podium. We'd ask you to give your name, address, and we'd ask that you limit any comments to 5 minutes or less. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Item 4, consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a City Council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from consent status and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 4A, minutes of the May 17th, 2021 City Council meeting. Item 4B, change date of the first meeting in July of 2021 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, July 6th, 2021 due to the 4th of July holiday. Item 4C, reappointment of Adam Yurkowski and Ron Schilling, the City Council officials, and Charlie Barr, Board of Directors, to the Northeast Nebraska Economic Development District for one-year terms. Item 4D, bid from O'Neill Wood Resources LLC in the amount of $700 per hour for large wood waste grinding at the transfer station. Item 4E, bid from Dale R. Johnson doing business as Johnson Trucking for 1 year supply of road gravel in the amount of $21.90 per cubic yard delivered, or $16.75 per cubic yard if picked up. Item 4F, resolution number R21-74, authorizing payment of various improvement projects. And item 4G, payroll and bills on file. Mr. Mayor and Council, is there anything you would like removed from consent status?
Mr. Mayor, I move that the items on the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay.
Jinxed it. All voted aye.
There you go. There it is.
Okay.
Motion passes. Brings us up to public hearings.
Item 7A, public hearing, town hall meeting to consider the Northeast Nebraska Solid Waste Coalition budget for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2021.
Is there anyone here this evening to speak against this public hearing?
Mr. Mayor, I move the public hearing be closed and a recommendation be made to the Northeast Nebraska Solid Waste Coalition to approve the budget.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion?
Okay.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay.
Be able to make it down. All voted aye. There, oh,
See, there it goes up.
There it is. Motion passes. Brings us up to reports of council committees.
Item 10A, Committee of the Whole, June 7th, 2021. Item 10A1, Golfing Rates and Golf Professional Contract. The Committee of the Whole recommends to the mayor and council to proceed with renewing the contract with the Golf Pro for a 1-year term with authority to set fees and other terms as discussed, and staff to send RFPs and research options throughout the next year.
Mr. Mayor, I move this committee report be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 10A2, remodel of and addition to Charlie Lewis Fire Station. The Committee of the Whole recommends to the mayor and council that staff proceed with the remodel of and addition to Charlie Lewis Station.
Mr. Mayor, go
I
ahead.
move that the report be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this committee report. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay.
there you go.
Motion passes. Brings us up to new business.
Item 13A, quote from Allen Blasting and Coating Incorporated in the amount of $26,787 for sandblasting and painting of the men's locker room at the Aquatic Center.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the quote from Allen Blasting and Coating, Inc. for sandblasting and painting of the men's locker room at the Aquatic Center be accepted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this quote. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13B, quote from Aquachem Incorporated in the amount of $11,336 for filter replacement at the Pawnee Plunge.
Mr. Mayor, I move the quote from Aquachem Incorporated for filter replacement at Pawnee Plunge be accepted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt this quote. Any discussion?
Just a question. I'm presuming these things were in the budget that
Correct.
we.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
How many times they have to be changed? What's the process of those? You know?
This is the first time we'll be changing the filters at the plunge, so we've got a very good life out of the
Okay,
current
okay.
sand.
I'm just curious.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13C, bid from Sandry Fire Supply LLC in the amount of $48,032 for breathing air compressor storage system and fill station for the fire department.
I move the bid for breathing air compressor, storage system, and fill station be awarded to Sandry Fire Supply LLC.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Question.
Oh, all right, we have questions. Go ahead, Charlie.
I'll make him drag himself all the way up here.
All right. We have a motion and a second. We now have discussion.
Chief, earlier in the meeting, we talked about the Charlie Lewis station and what the equipment would cost. Will this equipment serve there as well?
It will initially. There is going to be room added for a breathing air compressor, but we don't have to get it right away. We can
Okay,
get it
but
later.
I mean, it won't overtax what we're buying.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Chief, before you walk away, this one that we currently have, is this something we can sell to a smaller?
Potentially, yes. It does have a lot of hours on it. It's 25 years old. But somebody might be interested in it. So if we can't find someone who's interested in it for their, reasonable amount, we could put it on the city auction and promote that other departments, two other departments that might be looking for it, especially smaller ones. The new one's going to be a higher pressure air compressor for more modern SCBA. So,
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to comments from the mayor and city council.
Item 13D, comments from the mayor and city council members. In compliance with the Open Meeting Act, no discussion can be held on this item.
Slap my hand. Go ahead. Any councilman? Yes, sir, Mr. Blonsky.
Like you're not even.
We, over the weekend, we had just an incredible event that took place, the Cattlemen's Ball for 2021. If you did not get an opportunity to go, I think you really missed a chance to see Columbus community at its finest. Over 1,100 volunteers put on the show. We had 4,200 people come to town or show up. I'm sure most of them were from town. But the hard work that they did and how they pulled it all together was just amazing. It may never come back this way again. It was for a great cause for cancer. I know 10 to 20% of the money will come back to the community for cancer care. And I'd just like to really thank everybody that worked on that committee, especially Scott and Pat Miller, who hosted it on their property. It was just, like I say, it was one of those things that you'll probably never see again. So if you missed it, you missed something really good. So thank you for those folks.
Plus, they had Chamber of Commerce weather.
Yes, it didn't rain.
Any other comments? I had a couple of items. First of all, I wanted to remind the public of our community cleanup days that are going to be this Friday and Saturday, the 11th and 12th, and next Friday and Saturday, the 11th and 12th? 18th and 19th. Thank you. Fridays from 11 to 5 and Saturday from 8 to 12. And every citizen, everyone that's a Columbus citizen that gets a water bill got a pass that would allow them their ability to get in and do this. So we encourage you, if you want to take advantage, take advantage. We will do our best to keep people moving through and get it done without causing too much trouble. Secondly, I want to remind the public that we're going to have a fire station open house this Sunday, the 13th, this Sunday the 13th, 10:30 to 2:30, Chief? 10:30 to 2:30. I know there's been a lot of eager people, a lot of eagerness to be able to see our new station. Obviously, with the move into it during COVID, we were not able to do that. So yeah, we're ready to show it off to the public, and I'm sure Chief will have a nice event for that day. So Sunday the 13th. I don't want Chief here to feel left out, but we just have an issue with the PD and being able to open that to the general public, because we sure would have loved to do that too, but it's just not practical. So that won't happen. And finally, I wanted to take a moment and just congratulate all the seniors in our community that, over the last 2 to 3 weeks have graduated. Wish them the best of luck in whatever future endeavors they move on to. So
Something, wanted to mention, and that was thank Vanessa for her getting all of the TVs and that was stuck in your garage and that sort of thing last Saturday. I was in line for part of my retirement, and I was told I was the 120th car, and there were still, I think, 100 behind me. So it was quite an adventure.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to resolutions.
Item 14A, resolution number R21-75, approving municipality financial agreement with State of Nebraska Department of Transportation for improvements to the State Highway US 30 23rd Street reconstruction project.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of resolution number R21-75.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution number R21-75. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay.
Slow internet tonight.
Motion passes.
Item 14B, resolution number R21-76, approving the contract with Northeast Nebraska Economic Development District for housing reuse services.
Mr. Mayor, I move resolution number R21-76 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution R21-76. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 14C, resolution number R21-77, approving the change order number 1 to Amendment C to standard agreement and general conditions between the owner and construction manager, Boyd Jones Construction Company, in the amount of $67,082.35 to provide additional site earthwork preparation as part of the community building project.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the for the adoption of resolution number R21-77.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution R21
Second.
dash.
Now we have a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We have a motion and a second to approve R21-77. Any discussion?
What additional site work are we looking at?
Thank you.
So when this thing was bid, the geotechnical part was not done. When the Amendment C was bid to do the initial tear down, the site utility work and such. And so we wanted to keep it moving, so they just kept it moving, and they left some things intentionally out that everybody knew during the bid. And so the report is now complete, and it would be what earthwork needs to be done at the library site, where the basement of the old senior center was, and where the fire department was. So it's an addition to, because we just didn't know what it was when we bid it the first time because it wasn't ready. We figured that'd be better than sitting around for a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 14D, resolution number R21-78, approving the Amendment D to the standard agreement and general conditions between the owner and construction manager, Boyd Jones Construction Company, in the amount of $648,286 for steel decking material as part of the community building project.
Mr. Mayor, I move resolution number R21-78 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution R21-78. Any discussion?
Can you,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bogus, can you tell me just what we're decking?
There's various steels on, and this isn't the main steel package, but there's various steel in every building, and this building's really no different. So it's various material that they use in the different floors and different, I guess, decking. So for each floor. I did get an email today from the contractor that indicated that there's a very tight window on this, and it's because of what's all going on in the country. And so this is done way earlier than what we normally do, but it's smart to do because I think I'm pretty sure we'd be delayed if we didn't get this done right now.
Okay, and this was part of the original,
Yeah, this is all part of the project and part of the scope and part of the money. Yeah.
Would it just like the internal framing?
Yeah,
of the-
internal framing, it's
Okay,
maybe a good,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, any other questions? We have a motion and a second to adopt. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 14E, resolution number R21-79, amending the schedule of fees by adding fees for parks and recreation programming.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of resolution number R21-79.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution R21-79. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to ordinances on their first reading.
Item 15A, ordinance number 21-19, approving the closure of railroad crossings located at 3rd Avenue, 12th Avenue, 17th Avenue, vehicle and pedestrian, 18th Avenue, 21st Avenue, 25th Avenue, and 27th Avenue.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the rules be suspended and ordinance number 21-19 be read by number only.
Second.
Motion and a second to suspend the rules and read ordinance number 21-19 by number only. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay.
Ordinance number 21-19. Oops, go ahead.
No, go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor, I move that ordinance number 21-19 be adopted.
second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 21-19. Any discussion? I think it's prudent to say everybody thinks city government takes a long time to do things. You know, this is Union Pacific addressing closing of some crossings that actually the viaduct on 3rd was finished in 2016. You know, so it just takes time to get some of this stuff done. It's amazing. Anyway, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.